TribLIVE Radio presents Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, appearing throughout the season with Ken Laird and Guy Junker.
El Toro strikes in the 19th.
The best Pirates talk is right here. Trib Total Media. See what's next. The Clint Hurdle Show on TribLIVE Radio is brought to you by White Deer Run, Cove Prep of State College. Brought to you by Century 3 Chevrolet. We can make it happen.
After a 17-10 June, the Pirates start off the month of July with walk-off theater at PNC Park. Joining us now to talk about it, Pirates skipper Clint Hurdle for his semi-monthly visit here on TribLIVE Radio. Clint, good morning.
Good morning.
Always wonder, us media guys try to make something bigger than just one game, but every time a walk-off win happens, as a manager, how do you feel about it as a galvanizer? And in particular, that's 8 of them for your club this year.
Yeah, we've had a really good number of walk-off wins. I do think it just speaks to the focus, the resiliency, and the perseverance of the club. Other than that, yeah, they're overplayed because what we need to do today is go out and play a good game. You've been in those rooms where I've shared. I get questions once a homestand. Will this win be the really? Nobody ever talks about having a bad game and us getting hot. That's actually happened twice. Nobody's ever brought that up. But we've just not played well. Back-to-back losses of the Mets in 24 hours. Then we go to L.A., and then we get hot, and we play much better baseball. So you never know what's going to be the galvanizing agent. Wins are good, though. They're so much better when you do them at home and you walk off like that for the fans and everybody involved. Just a really good finish to a night that was in a hard place for 8 solid innings.
Gregory Polanco comes off the bench for his first pinch hit there. He had been 0 for 16 in his last several at-bats there against lefties. Was there any hesitation to put him up there?
You saw him walk up there. I mean, come on. If you don't think you can hit him, I guess you might not send him up there. He's hit him his whole minor league career. These are different questions now. And Gregory, he could do everything there when he first came up, and now we're wondering if he should hit against a left-hander or it's his first time. We're going to let this young man play. I felt at the time he could give us the best at bat against a left-hander with the other available players. He's a reach guy. He finds his way on base. The walk comes into play. He sees pitches. With a pitcher with 106 or 7 pitches on the mound, I thought he was the right guy to send up there. He answered very well for us.
As did Starling Marte, and fans, Clint, they watch Marte, and I think you've used the phrase with some of your players, what can make you laugh can make you cry, but there it is. He's down to his last strike, your last strike in the 9th, and no fear either. Comes through with an 0-2 double off the wall for you.
Well, yeah, we had one out at the time, so unless something crazy happens, we got another shot. With the way the inning played out, I'm sure that Reed would be the first to tell you, the pitcher, that's not where he wanted that ball to end up. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, there's a lot of pitches that are thrown in a game that don't end up where the pitcher wants them to and that don't get barreled off the center field wall. Pop-ups, rollovers. So Marte deserves some credit for holding his ground. He deserves some credit for staying in the at-bat, and he deserves some credit for just trying to bang the ball to the big part of the ballpark to get home that first run and give either McCutchen or somebody behind him a chance to tie it up or win it.
And I know Ike Davis, who got the walk-off, made the comment afterwards he was just trying to avoid the double play. How much credit does he deserve there? It was not the prettiest of walk-offs, but to just get it in the air somewhere.
A walk-off's a walk-off. I mean, now we're going to catch the cat guys. How would a line drive off his bat right at the first baseman look? A double play, doubled off the base. So, you're looking for a good at-bat. He knew it was at stake. He's had his own challenges up there. He continues to work hard. I thought he took some better swings. The Mets series had a big 2-run single against Cologne on Sunday. First pitch almost hit him, and then the second pitch was one of the nastiest pitches we've seen. I've seen this guy throw. I watched a lot of tape, but it was like a mid-90, 92, 93 mile an hour cutter in that just ran in on his fist. So for him to hold the plane of the bat, get the bat to the ball, and one of the reasons we weren't going to run McCutchen is we wanted McCutchen on first. We wanted Goldschmidt holding him in that position, so he couldn't back up, play deeper. Yeah. That was an option that they had. And he held his ground. And, if the guy would have been deeper, who knows what might have happened. But I gave us the at-bat we needed to help us win the game.
Well, fun night at PNC Park. And it also featured some defensive plays on both sides. Your right fielder last night, Josh Harrison, displaying his arm on a couple of occasions. He's a career infielder, Clint. I mean, how good of a right fielder has he been for you?
Let's keep in context. He has become an average right fielder, which is a huge statement for a guy that has minimal reps. The throwing arm, if you had to grade it out from arm strength, I think it would be borderline average. The accuracy has taken it to another level. He's made throws now from left field and right field, throwing people out the plate. 2 throws last night on the money. He's worked very hard on his throwing technique. Because it is different than throwing the ball around the infield. You want to get that ball, you want to get your elbow up to your shoulder, the high release point, and backspin that ball so there's no tail. In the infield, you throw from a variety of arm slots, ball can move. He's just been really quick and efficient with getting the ball in the glove. Footwork has been very simple. Basically, when the glove goes down, the left foot's down. It's a crow hop and a throw right over the top, and it's been fun to watch. And he has done a very, very professional job for us out there defensively.
Has the team sort of responded to him and just sort of marveling at what he can do at a bunch of different positions? Has he been, if not a leader, a talking point in the room?
Sure. That's what makes sport great. Everybody's got their ideas of what a ball player should look like. And then Josh Harrison comes along. He's a backyard ball player, scrapping, brawling, getting on base, making plays. He's played this way his whole career. He's getting the opportunity to do it now on a bigger stage with more opportunity. He's one of the guys that every year the alumni group has a Heart and Hustle Award that's voted on by each individual club. Each club has a nominee, and that all those names, the 30 names, go into a pool. And there's an event in November in New York City where one player from Major League Baseball will get the Heart and Hustle Award. And I believe that Harrison, for the first time, was the only other name that's ever come out of this clubhouse. It's been McCutcheon for 3 years. And with no disrespect to Andrew at all, I think the guys have gravitated to watching Josh, as the fans have, and baseball has, and even the opposition, just to go to show you that, man, if you can play, you got a big heart, and you got a lot of want to, and some how to, that you can get things done up here, and he's doing that.
Just another couple moments with Clint Hurdle, Pirates manager here on TribLIVE Radio. Speaking of the room, and this is probably something else the media thinks too much about or asks too much about in the fans, Clint, but the dynamic in there, the chemistry. When you made the trade and you brought Frieri in, as a manager, how much do you get involved to make sure that's going to be the right fit in there and that he's getting along, or you just kind of let that play out and it'll take care of itself?
We have structures in place for things that happen within our clubhouse, and what I did initially was, we have our initial conversation with Jason, Neil, myself, I believe Ray Surge and Jeff Bannister were in. Gave him time. We all shared some thoughts. A lot of hugs. Hard to know that, one door is closed, another one's opening. And then upon Jason's exit out to make some phone calls, we brought in the leadership council. Jason was a part of that, so we brought in the other 4 men to share our thoughts. Neil shared his thoughts why the trade was made. I shared my thoughts how we move forward. Asked them for any thoughts they might have or comments. It was all, though, this is what we do. We can do this. We'll all go hug Jason and we'll welcome Ernesto and we'll move forward together and we're going to be fine. And then I brought in the bullpen after we had the conversation with those guys. So every move you make can create a wake, positive or negatively, and I do think I'm still a big champion of the fact people need to talk to people, not just in sport. You need to have relationships. And I've actually said to me, when you have those relationships, it makes it harder. It does make it harder. When something like this happens, a trade or a release or an injury, that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what makes it valuable. That's what makes it significant, is when those feelings and emotions are real and they're heartfelt. So we're in a good place. We're in a good place in there. We're looking forward. One of the comments from one of the guys was, Jason, you guys do your part. We'll see you in the World Series. And that was actually one of the things that was thrown out to him. So we're going to move forward.
Well, and you're moving forward and getting a little bit healthier, too. You got Cole back. I know you said Liriano has the sim game today. Could you clear up, Clint, in regards to when pitchers are coming back and they have the ability to go on a rehab assignment? It's up to the player, correct, as to whether they want to drop down or just stay with the club?
Correct. The player drives the bus. We share information. We share our thoughts. We share what we feel would be the best way to go about it. At the end of the day, there's not a perfect equation for this. I have yet to see an offensive player come back hot. You know, they've gone down. I've seen guys get 10 at-bats, 20 at-bats, 30 at-bats. It's a challenge to be out 2 weeks or longer at the major league level and come back and face this major league pitching and get hot. I think Neil's finding his way back now. He's had some bats from a pitcher. I think it all depends on the pitcher, the experience, what he's dealt with in the past along these lines, on whether the rehab notion comes into play or not. I do think Frankie is of the opinion he's been out a lot longer than Cole was. But he needs to get on the mound. He needs to create some things and experience some things off the mound and game speed. So I think he will. We've kind of looking at penciling some things out for him after the sim game today, if all goes well, to make a rehab assignment or two.
Last thing for you, did you catch any World Cup fever? You have quite the international roster. You guys watching the U.S. team?
Our guys watched it throughout, and they will probably continue to watch it throughout. Very animated and excited. It's amazing. I did not realize how many pro soccer players we had in that clubhouse, how all the mistakes that were being made and how things should have been done. I had a whole clubhouse full of fans that didn't know a whole lot about something they kept acting like they knew a whole lot about, which was really funny for me to watch.
We all like talking expertly on things we know nothing about. Isn't that it?
It was an absolute hoot to watch these guys have this all figured out.
Clint, always a real pleasure. Enjoy the homestand here, and kudos on the win last night.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. Pirates.